I'm so sorry. I'm about to burst some bubbles. But don't worry, we'll fill you up with something else. If you have a bookshelf filled with self-help books, and we don't need to pop them up, but you know what I'm talking about, and you find that after 2 weeks of reading them, you revert back to feeling the same way or pretty similar to where you were, it's pretty common. You see, we get that high, how we need to wash our face, how we're a badass, how we can F this and F that, how we can find our inner peace, how we can become untethered. But the reality is, these are authors who are sharing their own story of self-reflection, of accessing their subconscious, of doing the deeper inner work. And what we're reading are their results. We're reading their tactics. We're reading their experience. And we get the high of comparison and inspiration, thinking we can make all of these changes happen in our own life. But the allure, the zest, it wears off. And so what a lot of these people have done, and not all of them, I'm not throwing them all under the bus, they've created these group coaching programs where you spend $20,000, $30,000, $60,000 to work alongside them, for them to show you their playbook. And again, it creates this dependency for them to fill us up with those good feelings, only to drop back down when we're not around them. So guess what that does? It has us buy back into it to continue the investment so that we feel better and we become amazing face washing people. I feel like I'm going down a tangent, but you know where I'm going. So here's where we actually make change. We have to be able to access our subconscious. You see, from the time that we're 0 to 7, we're filling ourselves up with all of those beliefs from our parents, where we go to school, our neighborhoods, religion, society at large. And those beliefs are challenged in our everyday life through our conscious. And our consciousness is saying, I agree with this, I accept it, or I reject it. And not just reject it, but I'm going to make you so wrong. I'm going to tell you all the reasons you're wrong. So all of these past beliefs are locked in until we can find these gateways to be able to shift that. And so those gateways happen in what we call our alpha and our theta brainwaves, when we're slowing down to light relaxation to deep meditation. And what we're mostly focusing on, what we're functioning in our everyday life when we're super stressed out and wound up, is in our consciousness, in our beta waves, which are like, zzz, we're buzzing. And we literally cannot access that in that state. Yet many of us are reading the books, listening to the podcasts as we're stressed out. We're like, yeah, that sounds great. I'm down with that. I'm into it. So we're agreeing to it because we want that vision, but what we're missing are those 2 initial steps. And the first 2 are about getting back in your body. So that can happen through light touch and massage. It can be in acupressure. It can be in just slight, slow, rounded movement. If you've ever done Tai Chi. If you're like, Lauren, I can't sit still that long. That's where we have amazing light touch massage. And I have a couple videos available. I'll have some more to help you get back into it. And what we can do is it's like saying, hey, body, I'm here. I'm here and I'm functioning for you. And once we get into that, we can then start opening up our breathing. We can get more intentional and free flow on it. You see, I just took a big deep breath and sigh. And sighing is one of those easy access points to help us actually activate that. So getting into a parasympathetic nervous system where we're not rigid and reactive and primal, but we can actually be more conscious in our subconscious. So we first want to just get into our body. We can do tapping and open the body, and then we can add on the visioning. See, it's not that self-help is bad. It's that it's missing the first 2 pieces, which is all self-generated. It's you taking the time to prime yourself to be able to ask yourself those questions. What is most important to me? What makes me happy? What do I want to create in this world? I did this exercise with one of my clients because they were asking me, how do I make this decision, or how do I turn this big goal into smaller goals? And instead of like working through talk and pure coaching, I did one of these exercises. It was the 3-point one. And I said, okay, I want you to just ask yourself that question after we do a round of this. And within 3 minutes, her responses were so deep, well thought out, and pure. I didn't have to answer. I didn't have to give her advice. And frankly, as a coach, I don't give advice. But this client was able to access a part that she had capped off, that the stress, that the pressure, that the comparison wouldn't let her get to. And so if we just stop relying on other people to be the gurus of our lives, and we can acknowledge that we are an expert in who we are, and we can actually reframe things or have a different belief pattern come through, this is the first step to realize, like, hey, I may want to think differently. I may want to act differently. Maybe the way that I'm moving this forward isn't working for me. And then you can open it up. And there's lots of coaches that do this, but this is that first initial step. So if you're feeling frustrated and like the pile of books behind you just aren't working or cutting it, no matter how many times you read it, this is a great alternative of getting back into your body, opening up, slowing, deepening your breath, and creating that future vision. So it could be like in your movement, it could be envisioning a future place or state. It could be a question. It's all about the area of focus and intentionality behind it. So whatever you think in purchasing a book and listening to a podcast, whatever you think it's going to fix for you, I want you to first ask yourself what question you want to answer or what it would look like to do that. And if you have issues accessing that and that vision, try those first two steps, because that's what can help open it up. And this is why I did my little rant about why your why doesn't matter, because we first have to get to those first places of access. You don't even know your why a lot of the times, or it's coming from someone else's belief system. We don't even know until we can access those points in our subconscious to really deepen our understanding of ourselves, in our relationship with the world, in our relationship with other people, and what we're here to do. It's not about transaction. It's not even about productivity, but it's about intentional purpose. And if you have no idea what that is, try these exercises, and I'll put a link down below where you can practice some of them and just see what happens, see what comes up. But you want to talk about self-care, self-help, this is the first step, and it costs you nothing. I'm literally posting this on YouTube, charging people nothing. I could be running courses, but I know how valuable it was for me and how valuable it can be for other people. And we are in the midst of a stress epidemic and crisis, and it ain't sexy. The hustle grind mentality does not work. It just makes money for other people. Like, let's be real. The more money you make, the more you pay in taxes. And the more you're going to pay out in your healthcare insurance. Like, your payouts are huge because you're sick. So if you want wellness, we have to be intentional in how we're treating our body, our breath. Our breath is so amazing and incredible, and how we're envisioning ourselves and making our reality possible. So I hope this was helpful. You see, I want to fill you up with goodness and save you money. Not bad, huh? So try this out. If you have any issues, if you're like, Lauren, I'm just not getting there, let me know, and I will provide more exercises, more acupressure points that can help open you up. And I promise you, it will be a game changer. It was a game changer for me and my clients, and it can be a game changer for you. Y'all keep being awesome.